Hello and welcome. We are in conversation with a very eminent panel of the finance secretaries to the ministry. They've all worked in close coordination with the finance minister, not just otherwise, but particularly on the budget proposals. We are welcoming Mr. Gujral, the finance secretary, the revenue secretary, Mr. Sumit Bose, the economic affairs secretary, Dr. Arvind Mayaram, Secretary DFS, Mr. Rajiv Takru, he and Mr. Ravi Mathur, both of them, Mr. Ravi Mathur, Secretary Department of Divestment, they're both taking charge recently, but it doesn't seem as if they are not, they are very new to these areas. We want to start off first with a big macro question, gentlemen. If you give a simple glance at the budget proposals, and no offense meant here to anybody, but it neither appears to be a reformist budget, neither a populist budget. There is nothing much for the stock markets. There is nothing much for the middle class. There's nothing much for the corporates. Yes, the effective tax rates will go up for companies with an income of about 10 crores and so on and so forth. And some additional taxes will have to be paid by the high income brackets in personal taxes. But apart from that, there doesn't seem to be much of a something to make a big noise about. So
let me say that first imperative of the budget was fiscal consolidation. Now it appears as if the market and everyone seems to have taken that for granted. FM had been emphatic in saying that there is a red line for 5.3% fiscal deficit target for the current year. Now in this budget it has been clearly shown that he is sticking to a 5.2 level. Now this is a very important aspect, may not be for the domestic general public in India, but at least for the foreigners, for the rating agencies, this is the most important figure which they are looking for. Second, keeping the fiscal deficit for the next year at 4.8. Now clearly there is a limitation on the quantum of revenues that you can generate. Now within that, then to try and ensure that every ministry, every scheme gets ample quantum of budget is not a mean achievement. As the FM had pointed out, for the next year, as compared to the revised estimates of the current year, the planned budget is being increased by 29%. That's not a mean level.
Small intervention here, sir. The moment you said 5.2% is all. This is a question that we had raised earlier with the finance minister also. The fact remains that for the current year, you have slashed plan expenditure left, right and center. Almost 0.9%. That is how you remained at 5.2%, which given the current circumstances were all right. So, and even for next year, if you compare B to B, there is not much of an increase in the plan expenditure size. I think it's less than 7%. It's only when you compare the B with the RE that you get a huge jump of around 29%, and rightly so, because plan expenditure for the current FI has been slashed by 0.9%.
Let me put this in perspective. For the current year, the plan expenditure had been increased, the B had been increased by 25% over the RE of the previous year. Whereas in the last year, the actuals were only 9% over the actuals of the previous year. So when there was no cut, there was no restriction, the actual expenditure growth was only 9% over the RE. Consequently, 25% in the current year was in any case optimistic. I would reword your point that we have slashed the plan expenditure left, right and center. Yes, we have rationalized the expenditure, and that has helped in ensuring that we have stuck to the fiscal deficit target. In the rationalization, the paramount aspect which has been seen is the quantum that had been spent by the ministries till the month of November, and what was the likely spending that they were going to do till March. Second, there are many ministries where there was a lot of money in the pipeline. Now that money in the pipeline, we have sought to control releases further. So it is not that the program has been impacted.
Right.
The program has not been impacted, but the slack money in the system that has been controlled.
Right.
And it is not just the plan expenditure which has been curtailed. Non-plan expenditure of major departments has also been curtailed to the tune of about 35,000 crores. So it is not only slashing of so-called developmental expenditure which has been done. So that is on this issue, that it is incorrect to try and say that we have only slashed plan expenditure left, right and center, or that the next year is only 7% over the RE,
Right.
over the B. That is correct factually when you are saying, but when you see in terms of 29% over the actual RE figures of the current year, I hope the ministries would be able to achieve that level.
Right. Right. Dr.
But
Mayana,
having said that, let me also say that in this budget, a large number of actions have been taken to spur growth. I have a list of close to about 25 significant aspects where endeavor has been made to spur growth, whether it is in terms of investment sectors.
the big five. The big five.
Investment allowance has been allowed. That's a very significant one. Power sector, ATIA has been extended by 1 year. For cotton fiber, zero duty ED is there. For shipbuilding, exemption from the excise duty. For handloom sector, which is under stress, concessional interest has been provided. For home loans and construction, additional interest deduction of 1 lakh for loans up to 25 lakhs.
Right, sir. Mr. Kushal, I'll come back on that.
Semiconductor wafer fabs, road connectivity in northeast,
Cool.
5,000 crores for warehousing through panchayat.
I will just.
Long list I have got. Somehow, focus is not being paid on actions which have been initiated in budget for growth.